Let's talk about what I call Deep State 101. This is a small course about freedom on the ropes. Now, as much as I abhor the Democratic Party and all within it, I equally abhor the Republican Party and almost everybody within it. Let's take a brief but succinct tour along their differing but equally threatening paths, all aimed toward total domination. Our 43rd president was George W. Bush, and he's the one who really set things into motion. In a very short time, he did more to steer our country onto the path of a dystopian dictatorship than anybody since King George III. Enter 911. While the origins of 911 are lost in the mists of rumor, innuendo, government cover-up, and endless debate, it can be said without challenge or doubt that 911 was used to set into motion events which now threaten the future of freedom itself. Piggybacking on opportunities presented by the disaster, President George Bush created the Department of Homeland Security, an all-powerful agency with authority over all federal agencies, including like the FBI, NSA, CIA. He gave them total blanket power. This gave the deep state all it needed to invade our privacy and violate our constitutional rights as never before. Now, it wasn't exactly legal, but it was authorized. Then Bush rammed through the Patriot Act, legislation aimed at legalizing the heretofore illegal actions of the Department of Homeland Security. So first he made DHS, and they were breaking the law doing what they did, so we passed a law so they could be allowed to break the law, but now it wasn't a broken law, it was legal. Under the cover of law, Homeland Security is free to do pretty much whatever it wants. This is insane. As the controlling authority for the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, virtually every federal agency with guns, they're in charge right now, in charge of your lives, every one of you. There's nobody they can't get, nobody they can't beat 7 ways from Sunday. Now, when this bill, the Patriot Act, was presented to the legislature, it came with threats, verbal and implied, that anybody who didn't vote for its passage would have hell to pay. And the source of that hell would undoubtedly be those now militarized agencies, all operating under the dark umbrella of Homeland Security. Bush's plans went along smoothly, but he wasn't done yet. On the heels of his success creating Homeland Security, legalizing them with the Patriot Act, he then created what was to become the largest organization in American government, the Transportation Security Administration, our beloved TSA. TSA quickly gobbled up hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. They gobbled up all the authority granted to them, although, of course, they're still under Homeland Security. Well, the very size of this newly created agency ballooned. It spread itself to cover every airport, every seaport in the country. Every day, they spread their tentacles a little further with the goal of controlling bus depots, interstate commerce, over-the-road transportation. TSA, currently, this is a shocker, the Transportation Security Administration currently employs more people than the United States Marine Corps and the U.S. Coast Guard combined. And all of this security circus is designed to condition Americans to accept absolute control. When the presence of TSA agents is no longer a surprise, it becomes accepted. You're in trouble, people. You're in deep shit. The road to slavery was paved and even painted by Republicans, architects of laws of the land in which government has total say over every aspect of Americans' lives. Had the Republican agenda succeeded, George Bush might well have become the 43rd and final freely elected president of the United States. Now, I hate to say it, But it's the communist Democrats who saved us from becoming a fascist republic. They did this by opposing fascism with communism. You know, fascists and Marxists, they've been at each other's throats for as long as the two schools of thought have existed. Now, all right, to be fair, had Democrats succeeded under Bill Clinton, he might well have sat on the throne as the last freely elected president. America would have become the second largest socialist country in the world, second only to Red China. And history shows us that socialism always devolves into communism, and communism to chaos. This is the battle of the titans, folks, a fight for the hearts and the minds of the American people. As far as hearts go, yep, okay. But minds? Really? The American people are among the most gullible, brainwashed, least read, and most undisciplined people in the world. Other than the smattering of a few third world nations here and there, the U.S. is indeed the worst in this regard. Now, in the upcoming presidential election, Donald Trump is in a unique position because he's a rhino. That means Republican in name only. He wears the party badge so he can run. This means he's not beholden to either political party, be it Democrat or Republican. He owes nothing to those who challenged his prior presidency. He owes nothing to those who launched attack after attack during the entire 4 years he was in office. Despite the lies, the innuendo, the dirty politicking of Democrats and Republicans, he still managed to make America great again, because Donald Trump always put America first. Under the onslaught of both parties, he restored an America on the ropes, a nation mired in quicksand. This is a quicksand left behind by 8 years of an Obama presidency. In only his first 2 years, Donald Trump repaired most of the damage. The previous 8 years of Obama's unique brand of communism had been tromped into the ash heap of history. By the close of Donald Trump's presidency, the United States stood taller, stronger, and more prosperous than she had ever since the close of World War II. Now, given this, and the fact that his is the most impressive resume for the job, you'd be an idiot not to vote for Donald Trump for president in 2024. There's no other whose qualifications gleam so brightly and whose accomplishments stand as such a testament to patriotism. There are to be two literal parties in the upcoming election: the brainwashed, uninformed masses and those who pay attention to the issues. So I would ask you, pay attention to the issues. Don't be brain dead. Don't be a sucker for the communist left. Stop being a snowflake just long enough to do the right thing. Read, listen, watch, and pray. Is that really so hard to do?